Hello and good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're watching. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to my little video. Today I am in Glasgow, which is where I landed the other day after coming from Edinburgh. And today I'm going to be doing a bit of sightseeing actually. I'm going to be going up through Loch Lomond and
TOS system test. Okay.
I just opened the window. Yeah, I'm going to be going up Loch Lomond and eventually going to be arriving into Oban Airport. I'm just going to start the engine now. I need to cross my hands over to do this, a bit awkward. So I need to be right-handed on the mouse. And petrol in, there we go. So yes, we're going to be flying from Glasgow to Oban, but the bit I really want to do is a bit of sight scenery, seeing things in Loch Lomond. So we're going to be flying up, pretty much up the length of Loch Lomond. Let me just put that on idle. I should have my strobe on there because the engine started. Should have the fuel pump on before I get going. Doing some baggage over there on a Delta aeroplane. I'm going to take the parking brake off so this guy can give us a push back. Oh, he's coming through the side again. They never get this right when you're in a propeller. So we're going to have our taxi lights on because we're going to be getting ready to taxi very soon. Where's he gone? Oh, we could probably do without the pushback actually. Should we just get rid of him? Oh, he's coming round now. Oh, he's on it. Oh. There we go. Right, so yeah, we're going to be going to Oban, which is about 48 miles north of Glasgow. So as I said, we're going to fly up the length of Loch Lomond, take a slight left, go over some hills, drop down into a valley, and eventually land at Oban. I think it's called O'Connell Airport. That's where we're heading. The weather is as I normally fly, which is real live weather. It is a Sunday in May, so not too bad seeing some blue skies. Normally you wouldn't see blue skies until sort of 1 week in August, probably, if you're lucky, in Glasgow. But there they are, blue skies with a bit of cloud, but nothing too bad. Let me just pull up the magenta lines. I think our takeoff today is runway 23. That's about all we need from you, my man. Thank you very much. Off he wanders. So as he wanders off, we'll just check our various doodads on here. Probably go to about 1000 RPM. And just check that everything's warming up nicely. Everything's in the green. Oil temperature, we've got some fuel, we've got enough fuel there. All of the above. Oh, I seem to be taxiing. Oh dear, 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 dear. How poor was that? How poor was that? I just... Oh, dearie me, take you. You can't get your head out the game for too long. It's very, very silly. I could have killed that bloke. Anyway, let's get on with taxi, as they say. So we don't want to go that way, we want to be going this way to the right, which is where the runway is, I believe. I am, hang on, if I'm taking off on 2-3, it's a pretty long old taxi then. So those of you who want to skip to the flying bit, you can come back in about 5 minutes. Actually, he's just starting his APU up, so he might be coming out. Oh, hang on, what's that? So we should be, yeah, we need to taxi. Oh, it's an EasyJet. Come on, get out in front of them. Get it. It's like Formula 1 when there's a pit stop and stop. Come on. I've got right away. Oh, I had right away. No, I've lost it. Right, so we're going to be sitting behind this EasyJet A320. I hope he doesn't hang around too long. Well, it's going to get noisy, so I think what we'll do is just shut the window for now. Otherwise it's going to get so noisy you're not going to be able to hear me. And what would be the point of that? Hey? I'm guessing half the reason you're here is just to listen to me rattling on. And the other one is to look at the nice scenery. So we've got quite a few BA regional turboprops. Oh, these are Loganair. Oh, Loganair. Little turboprops. Are they BA? I need to figure out what aircraft that is. I'm actually tailing this guy a little bit too close. But, you know, I'll get away with it. So we're going to be heading north after takeoff. We're sort of taking off to the east and then heading north, hoping to pick up the bottom of Loch Lomond around the Balloch area. There's a big shopping centre there, quite new, at Balloch. Yeah, heading up Loch Lomond, picking out a few of the mountainous sites on the way. I should recognise a couple of the mountains and hills around there. I used to do a lot of Duke of Edinburgh's practices, and in fact I did my Duke of Edinburgh's actual final walks and camps in the Loch Lomond area, North Loch Lomond, Aracha, that kind of area. Starting at Luss and walking around. Yeah, anyway, I'll get to it when we get up that way. But in doing some of the practices, we probably climbed, I say, walking up a lot of the hills and mountains around that area. So I'm hoping to be able to, if not recognise them, at least kind of point out roughly where they are. So we shouldn't need any flap for takeoff. And I'm hoping that this EasyJet is just gonna, well, he's not gonna hold for too long on the end of the runway and get straight out, get onto the business end, and then we'll get on and do some sightseeing. So looks like something's coming into land, so we're going to have to... He should be holding. He needs to hold there somewhere. You've got to hold, mate. You've got to hold, mate. Where are you going? Yeah, so while we are holding, we've got a jet coming in to land. We'll just make sure everything is in the green. What's he doing? He's moving forward. Oh, he's just sent him around, has he? No, he's coming in. He's going to land anyway, is he? Oh, that was a big wobble. Right, Mr. EasyJet, off you go. We'll just watch him go. Let's sit back and watch EasyJet line up. He's rolling, he's not holding, he's off, he's off. Go, go, go. Put the burners on. There he goes. Right, he's off. So, let's get our lights on, camera, brakes off, bit of throttle, roll forward, adjust the seat, make sure your straps are done up nice and tight, and we will make sure there's nothing coming down, which I can't see anything there, and we will just do what he did and roll around onto the runway, roll forward slightly, just make sure that we've got our pedals nice and free. While we're running in a straight line, we'll just increase the pressure, increase the throttle, hold it as we get over that kick of inertia that kicks in when the propeller comes on. Airspeed's active, 50-60 knots, and in the air, and away we go. And we'll fly the runway heading, which is 23. We managed to get down. There's another EasyJet. Oh, there's a Jet 2. Jet 2 holidays. Don't sink. Okay. Just building up some speed. Okay, let's make our way across to Loch Lomond, which is a short little hop over the, is it the Campsie Brae? No, that's the other side of Glasgow then. What am I talking about? So we should have our lights on to, I think it's about 1,000 feet. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. But nobody's going to tell us off, so we'll pop them off. We don't need our fuel pump on at this point. So there we go. Right, so we'll just, as our map changes colour, as we lose the dangerous bits. So just coming round now to pick up the bottom of the loch. And what I think we'll do is we'll fly reasonably low for this first part. Where's that flight plan going? It looks like it's going. I'm not sure about that. Where's that one? Very strange. So this is the Clyde estuary coming in. This one here. There's some nice roads down there. And the next road we come across should be the A82, which is a magnificent road that goes up the west coast of Loch Lomond. Beautiful drive, very picturesque, loads of places to just pull in, stop, take in the scenery. It is one of my favourite places on the planet. Wow, look at that quarry there. Cool. I wonder what they've been digging out of that. That's pretty cool. They've done well. You can't even see that from the other side. Wow. So those of you who've been to my channel before, watched my videos before, you'll know that I'm a big fan of using the trim wheel to get the, without going and rattling on again, getting the trim right is essential to not killing the muscles in your arms. So, and just adjusting the plane for steady level flight. And as it is in flight sim, it's not the easiest of things to do, but it is very worthwhile practicing it, because it just takes the pressure off having to hold the joystick or the yoke or whatever you use in the same position to maintain the same altitude, given whatever power you're putting in. So I'm putting a little bit more power in today than I normally would, because I don't want the video to go on forever, obviously, because I've got a life outside of here, which mainly involves doing what my wife tells me. But yeah, this is so this is the bottom end of Loch Lomond, just across to the right. Over in that area is the Balloch end, so kind of skirting that. In there I know that there is a float plane, seaplane, that operates out of that little body of water across there to the right. Yeah, it flies up and down, sightseeing trips. I would like to do that one day, it'd be really cool. However, we're doing it in the sim today. So pointing out a few hills and mountains and things directly in front of us, and partly in the clouds actually, because it is quite, I don't know how high it is quite a high mountain, is Ben Lomond, which is what the loch is named after. So I've been up there a couple of times at least, mainly in my younger days at school, when we did lots of Duke of Edinburgh stuff. All good fun, loved it. Yeah, so that one's been climbed a number of times. Fantastic views from the top, in fact all the way up, great views. I'm hoping, just get my bearings, I'm hoping, is that Inchmurren? Oh no, I might have missed it already. There is a place, if you hit the road and you drive up the A82, just off the A82, there is one of my favouriteest places ever. It's called the Duck Bay Marina. It used to be called the Duck Bay Marina. It is a little, well, in the early days when we used to go there, it was basically, this down here is the Loch Lomond golf course, where I'm pretty sure they played the things like the Scottish Open, and there's a Loch Lomond tournament that happens there every year. Very, very expensive to join, but a very good golf course apparently. In a fantastic location. What a setting to play golf. But yes, as I was saying, the Duck Bay Marina is a little. Starting off, it was just a little calf. That might be it down there, actually. I'm not sure. It's always difficult to see things from the air when you're used to what they look like on the ground and where they are. And then you get in the air and you're thinking, well, I don't know what it looks like from here. So you have to kind of get your bearings and sort out where things are. Yeah, lovely, lovely part of the world this. Right, now there's the road coming round. So if we see something that's sticking out a little jetty, no, it's not going to be here. I think it's further down. I wonder if that's the representation of it. Just got a little hotel next to it. That might have been it. Yeah, not the best looking representation of the Duck Bay Marina, because it is at the bottom of Loch Lomond. We're coming up. There's a car on the A82 down there. Car or a van. Holiday making. Yeah, so this on the right here. This is Ben Lomond. Lovely little hill, mountain, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. Maybe there is a cut-off of when the hill becomes a mountain, but I don't know what that is. I used to go hill walking, but we climb mountains. How does that work? Who knows? But anyway, as we travel up over the water of Loch Lomond, there is a trail on the east coast. Well, it starts on the east coast. Starts in Glasgow, near, where's it start? Mogai train station, which is called the West Highland Way. It follows the east coast all the way up the side of Loch Lomond, and I think it eventually, does it end at Fort William? I think it does. It's a walking trail with lots of campsites, but it's merely a walk. So I've done part of that with a good friend of mine when we were lads, but we got to a point after a few days of sort of walking and camping and stuff, after a few days of him suffering pretty badly from getting bitten by midges and really quite nastily bitten, we called it a day and we caught the ferry back down to Balloch and got the train home. But it was good times. Lovely, lovely, lovely place. Apart from the wildlife getting at you. But yeah, it's the scenery around here is just stunning. I love it. And in the sim, is a pretty good representation of what it looks like. So we're probably passing, we've probably passed it actually, in the area around Luss. So I should really be, we're getting up, yeah we are, we're getting up towards Arica here. So what I need to do is put some power in and gain some height quite quickly actually. I was a bit dreaming. Not that much. Hang on. Let's just keep the power on. So I need to be heading over the top of these mountains on this side, through across to Oban, which is our next port of call. So basically Loch Lomond finishes just up there a little bit, over there. There is a, there's a Rowadennen Hotel is on the east coast, just up here, and that's where the ferry pulled in to. Oh, whose tablet? That's where the ferry pulled in to pick us up. These hills here, these mountains here, forgive me if I don't get the names of these, but I mean, these are all hills and mountains that we did lots of climbing on for Duke of Edinburgh's. Ben Vorley. Ben Vorley. Oh, I need to look up some of these names again. But yeah, great walks, great area to do hill walking, climbing, camping, wild camping. There's lots of water sources and lots of little flat bits that you can camp on. All good. Heaven on earth. We'll just instead of going through the valley there, which is a bit low, we do need to climb anyway to get over the other side. So I'm just making sure I've got enough separation here, enough height to get over the top of. I've got plenty of speed, so we should be okay here. Just put a little bit more back pressure on just to skirt over the top of this little rise here. Just making sure we've got plenty of 500 is about the minimum amount of separation between us and the ground. So there we go, we just clear that over the top. I wish I could remember the names of these hills around here. I've walked them so much as a teenager. All of this area was mapped by us quite, knew it quite well. Up to sort of Gairloch Head, all these places, Arica. So we're up at about 3,000 feet here, and there's still a bit more on those. So they're all in the 3,000, 3,500 feet range, these hills. So reasonably high, a reasonable climb on them. Not quite as high as Ben Nevis, but or as treacherous, I suppose, as Ben Nevis can be. But still a decent challenge if you enjoy that kind of thing. So we've probably maintained enough height there to kind of level off at this point. And our next phase is just popping across. We'll just we'll get on the. In fact, what I'll do is I'll put the autopilot on, so we can follow the magenta line, take a little look out, and enjoy the scenery. So that was Gairloch. Oh, I used to know all these waterways. Is this Gairloch? No, it can't be. I used to recognise every single one of them when I was younger. This is not Gairloch Head. Right, as I said, I'm going to put the autopilot on. So, autopilot, and we want it in nav mode. And what we'll do is push. We'll come down on the power a little bit. I don't want to be at 3,000-ish, just until we get across the top of these hilly bits. In fact, I think they drop off now as we sort of drop off down to the coast. Yeah, let's just put altitude on for 3,500. I'm not sure that's in nav mode. GPS, yeah, but it should have. picked up. Let's take that off. Let's get onto the magenta line. We'll head down to about 3,000 feet, I think. Should be plenty. Look at that scenery. Spectacular. These wind farms have popped up everywhere, haven't they? Okay. Should be close enough there with that line coming in front of us. To put the autopilot on. And we'll see now if it... There we go, it's doing it by itself there. So I have no hands on the steering column. It's trying to maintain altitude. Right, I need to keep the altitude down a bit. So let's just do that. Using the buttons now, not using any kind of hands on sticks. So we'll take the altitude down to about 3,000 feet. For our run into Oban. Let's see, what have we got? We've got 16.5 miles to run, which is not very far at all. We've got all this scenery between us and there. Aren't we lucky? So as I said at the start, if you've gone out and made a cup of tea and come back in, we've flown today from Glasgow, taken off from Glasgow Airport, runway 23. We've popped up Loch Lomond to Aracha, and then we've kind of hung a little left and gone a bit more west out towards Oban. And they're just now on the run in to Oban with about 14 miles left to run. I want to probably level off at about 2,500, which is just coming up on now. So when we get to 2,500, I'll just press the altitude hold button, and it should then, let's do it now, click. So there you go, we've set the altitude in the autopilot for 2,530 feet. So we're at 2,520, that's close enough. So we'll stick to that now. So what I can do is increase the power a little bit, because we're only doing 102 knots. So we can get this speeded up a bit, whilst sitting back and enjoying the view of the Scottish countryside, which does not look bad at all. And as I said before, this is out of the box. This is Flight Simulator 2020 with no add-ons, no extra bells or whistles, and it does look magnificent. It looks fantastic. We could pop outside the plane for a second. I'll just check to see if that works. There we go. I could go outside. I'll try another one. No, that one doesn't work. Never mind. So, there we go, yeah. What was that over there? Was that a tablet? Oh, what's on the tablet? Oh, lots of things. I don't want it up there. I want it... Can I move it? I want to move it! I Why can't I move the tablet? What a stupid place for it to be. Way up there. Normally you can just click on it and drag it, but it's not letting me do that for some reason. Does it have to change the crosshairs or something? I don't know. Oh, this is annoying. No, it's not playing. Right, I'm going to bin it then. How do I bin it? How do I get rid of this? Click on it. Ah, yeah. Click on there. Right. We've got 9 miles to go, so we should start thinking probably about getting ourselves set up for landing. Now, I do not know much about this airstrip, having never been here before. I'm guessing it's east-west. So as we're currently heading west-ish, but northwest, I'm guessing there's a runway pretty much on that. Now I don't have access to any special fancy-pantsy maps and stuff. I don't have any subscriptions that I pay for access to maps or anything extra really out of the game. So I just depend on when I get there having a look and see which way the runway is, and surmising it as I took off from runway 23, which is kind of westerly, that's the way the wind's blowing, so that's the way I'll try to land, and in that same direction, into wind, take off and landing into wind. So I would guess that the wind is coming from that easterly direction, so you land into it. Does that make sense? Do I ever make sense? Anyway, 6 miles. Right, so 6 miles. We should be thinking about landing configurations and the like. But this looks like quite a spectacular place for a runway. It looks to be right on the coast. Yeah, looks great, but we're a bit high. So what I'm going to do is take the autopilot off, which is, it's that button there. And I just want to go a little bit more westerly. Just to see where, let's see if I can spot the orientation of the runway. Having a good look at, I'm going to be dropping some height. I don't want to be this high really, with 4 miles left to run. Just looks great, doesn't it? It looks great. I'm wondering if the runway actually runs up the length of the beach. Or the beach, or if that is actually the runway there. There's a little bridge down there, you can see. Can't see a runway as yet. Now we have a runway. So we have a runway. It looks more north-south, if anything. So what we'll do is drop down see if we can spot a windsock at all. I doubt we probably can, but we'll try. What I want to do, I do not want to approach from the other direction, because that looks a bit dodgy, to be honest. Looks a bit sketchy. Yeah, that looks a bit Hong Kong Kai-Tak malarkey. You have to drop in height over the top of the hill there to get an approach. Well, I'm going to... yeah, 0-1. So that is north-south. Okay, right, let's head out and try and line up with that one. So if we take a bearing of... Oh, blimey, it's going to be 180-ish. Head out on 180. I'm going to take a little bit of flap at this point.
500.
So if we head in that direction, is that about right? Ish, not bad, not bad. Ish. I'm getting a bit slow. So we've dropped in height quite well there. That's probably enough. So let's do a very short final. One more touch of flap. Keep the power up. Keep us about 60 knots at least. And quite tight on the turn. Good job I got my G-suit on. No, I haven't. Oh no, I've completely clocked that up. Turn too tightly there. Very, very tight. And that's not correct because I have lined up with the wrong place. So we're going down. I should have gone around there. That is just rubbish. So we're going to take the power off pretty much here. And we're going to float a bit. We're going to glide down. There's the... let's just let the speed bleed off. We should have enough space. Looking at the far end of the runway. Let's get a stall. There we go. There we go. Oh, that was nice. Okay, there we are. I don't know what the orientation is here for. Do we have the brakes on then, or what? Let's just backtrack here. Oh, is that plane parked up over there? I think it is. Right, okay, we'll park up on what looks to be the GA area. We don't want to get in the way of that truck because he's just going to go through us, isn't he? Look at him. Nuts! Let's just park up here. So welcome to Oban. What a nice place. What's that? A FedEx? What are they doing here? Those trucks look very American. Nice little plane. There's a FedEx, looks like a Cessna Caravan. So we'll just park here and we'll get a nice view of the loch. Lovely. Idle to that. Oh, we were very naughty. We landed with that lights on. So we'll nav lights off. Beacons on, beacons on. So we'll kill our propeller at that point. Turn our lights off. Battery off. And thanks for watching. Cheerio.